I'm back again. So I just want to start off and say, first of all, so I'm getting notifications for people's messages, and then I see them in my inbox, and when I click on the message, it's not there. So I'm not exactly sure what's happening. I'm not deleting your messages. I was told that the only person that could delete that message is the person who left it or me, and I'm not doing it. So I just want to let everybody know that first before I get started. Mm, it's cold out here, so I'm gonna go in here. So it would be a lot easier if I could just do a live. That way, people could just ask me questions. Uh, but, um, I've had a couple of suggestions, and I feel like, where I could start is a good one is my childhood. So, um, and my dad. So okay. Before I was born, my mom was with this guy and she was madly in love with him. I mean, she was so crazy about this guy. And then that ended and she was really upset about it. And she she was just down, whatever. That guy was also making her feel pretty bad about herself. And so during that whole thing is when she met my dad, and they were only together for like a couple months before she got pregnant, and she wasn't exactly sure about having me. And then when she told him that she was pregnant, then he said some stupid shit like, so when do you want me to punch it out of you, or something like that. And so at that point then she was like, oh no, this is my baby, oh hell no, I'm not, you know I'm not giving up my baby. I'm definitely not doing that. So that's how I ended up being born. And so when I was growing up, uh, I didn't know my dad. I guess I probably apparently went and met up with my dad and my brothers. So he tried to deny that I was his, and my mom. They went to court about it, and of course I was his. But when he came to court, he came with like two brand new babies, and they're like about 6 months old or something. So uh, they're younger. They're 6 months younger than me. So, anyways, I guess I went and played with them. I don't remember that. I don't really remember too much from being really little, like four. I have like one really bad memory, but it was not of my dad. It was of my mom and my stepdad. And that was when I was four, and it was really traumatic. And I feel like maybe since I have that really bad traumatic memory, that since then all my memories are really disjointed. Um, so then my mom ended up meeting my stepdad. His name is Michael too. Another Mike, just all these Mikes are very significant in my life. And this one is not such a good guy. And so they were together for a lot of years anyway. Um so from the time I was 1 until I was 14, I think, she was with my stepdad. They ended up getting married when I was 11, maybe 10 or 11. So, um, I didn't ever know my dad. I'm sure I asked about him. I'm sure that, I wanted to see him. Um, I know that I did because I had this picture of him and my brothers, and it was in this little like leather little book thingy, and it was this picture, and I held it like the book said Quest for Camelot, and so I like made up like, oh, I was going on this quest to find my dad and my brothers, some little silly shit like that. So I just I just only had Michael for my father figure, and I don't really have a lot of memories. Like I said, they're all really disjointed, but I think I remember like he taught me how to ride a bike, and um, he we went to the hockey expo, and we went to like we did the Woodward Dream Cruise. I mean, things that I remember, but well, we went to the boat races too on Belle Isle or whatever. And so I have these memories, but most of these good memories, um in the good memory there's something bad always happen. So like we go to the boat races, and Michael would get so fucked up and drunk, and he'd start getting into fights with people, and just acting belligerent and stupid, and then getting into fights with people. That's what I'm saying. So that's the kind of guy he was. And I remember, I don't know, I don't really have, like I said, I remember that most of the memories I have are bad memories. Like I remember when he got on top of me with a blanket and a pillow and tried to basically smother me or whatever. I mean, I guess that's what was happening. I'm not exactly sure. Um, I was young, anyways. I remember with my mom. I was young too. We moved into Novi. We moved into a trailer and mobile home park in Novi, and I remember wanting to go to the park or something. And she had said that we would do it after I got out of school. And when I got out of school, she was laying in bed and I wanted to go to the park, and she didn't want to get up, so she paid me like $5 to leave her alone. And I was probably like maybe 7. I mean, I'm not exactly sure about my age, but I know I was young. Um, so then I don't know. I remember there were some kids in the neighborhood that they were mean to me, and they had give me like a whitewash or whatever in the snow, and then stolen something of mine. Anyway, so then Michael was in those situations, he was like a champion, like he went for those people. He was out, to protect me. And I don't know, he just always ended up acting a fool. But anyway, so um I really I really don't. I remember I was always in a different place in it. I remember that. I remember that, he one time backhanded me and before school, and I ended up having a bloody nose or something. And when I went to school then, um, I told somebody that, I guess I told somebody I was upset when I got to school. So then I told them what had happened, and then they sent Child Protective Services to the house, and then that was a big no no. Don't do that. So then that was, when I got home from school, was a big problem, because, I mean, what the fuck was I doing? Cutting a whole CPS, what the hell? But I mean, I was a kid. I was just a little kid. So all I knew was that at home, the situation there was not good. He was emotionally and verbally abusive, physically, verbally, emotionally, the whole 9 yards. And I don't believe, like a lot of people think, like, and say that he probably so as an adult when I moved in with him, like that he had some kind of like sexual deviant thing that he felt for me. But I don't really feel like that because I was his stepdaughter, and he seen me as a stepdaughter. And he I don't know, I mean, the guy's a weirdo anyway, so it's possible he he always kind of had some weird thing, but I don't have any memories of anything like sexual happening. I do have other memories of like different, like not my stepdad. Um, but yeah, so when I was growing up, it was just really just like chaos, and it I was depressed a lot. I was diagnosed with depression when I was 7 years old and ADD, but then when I was that young, and I had going to therapy and counseling appointments. And what was I supposed to say to them? I'm depressed because my fucking home life sucks really bad. At that point, I'm not talking about that anymore because that just got me fucking in trouble the first time. So I don't know what I even talked about, but I know that they put me on like some different meds like Ritalin or Adderall. I don't even know. I can't remember what they had me on, but I was young when it was happening. I remember the last time that Michael was, in a stepdad position. We 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 were driving him to work one day, and I wasn't putting my seatbelt on fast enough, and he started. He was in the back seat, and my mom was driving, and he started smacking me and like hitting me from behind, um, and then my mom freaked out and pulled over the car, and I think we ended up taking him to work. But then we called my grandpa and my grandma, and my grandpa came and got me. I think that's how it happened. I really I remember that my grandpa came and got me and took me and got me some Burger King, and we always used to get the Hershey's pie and some hash brown little rounds, and so in the croissant, which I always remember that with my grandpa. We always did that, and so I don't really know. I wish I could say more about my childhood. I wish that I had more of my memories, but I feel like maybe just because there was a lot of trauma, I just most of, like I said, so then, I mean, I just have so many bad memories, so many things that I remember that were just really terrible, and that's all I have memories of. So it's like I remember when he was on top of my mom with her arms behind her back. I remember when he threw the pot of food across the kitchen and she'd just been cooking it. I remember, he chased me into my room and broke the doorknob on my bathroom. I remember he was pulling me out of my bedroom by my hair. I remember uh, I mean, that's it. That's the stuff I remember. I remember now by myself, I would just like go spend time with the old people in the mobile home park. And I would do things. I would watch their animals or their dogs. And I would go play little games and pretend that I was somewhere else. And I would hide they had a little bit of woods right by the brick wall for the freeway, and I would go back in there and like make a little fort, and that was where I spent most of my time. I did have some friends in school, but we didn't hang out like a whole lot, and when we did hang out, then I would always go over their house. Don't They never came to my house. I think when I did have a girl or two come over my house, there was some shitty situation, and it just didn't ever turn out right. It just was always really shitty. Um, so yeah, so that's how I guess. I mean, so now as an adult, I wish that I could remember, because maybe that would have some kind of explanation as to why, I turned out the way I did. Like, I have a really bad anger problem. I can get physically violent when I get really upset. A lot of times I now just take it out on myself and physically get violent with myself. I have a sick sense of humor. I like screwed up shit. I like bondage. I don't like it on myself, but I like to do it to other people. These things probably are all stemming from whatever experiences I had as a child. That's why when I moved in with my stepdad, we just got along so well as an adult, because at this point now I'm this like I don't know, like walking time bomb or something, and fucking we just really clicked. We just got along, and he had the same sense of humor as I have, and whatever. I mean, so I feel like as a child, there was really no like camaraderie or anything with him. I feel like sometimes like he did take me um to like a arcade, like a really old arcade, and that was really cool. But then something happened, and we got into some kind of fight, and then I was in trouble, and then that was it. It was done. It was done with the fun day. Fun day is over. And so I just I just wish that my memories weren't mostly all those, because I would probably have more memories if I could remember, growing up. I just have just flashes of stuff. Like, the things that I remember is just really like a brief memory, like just like, oh yeah, I remember I did that, or I remember that happened, but I don't have more details to any of it. So it just is really hard for me. Um, Even in my adult years, my memories are all screwed up. My When I think about my years on the streets, or when I think about my years as a teenager or young adult, uh, I just I don't really have those memories. Like, I remember, I don't know, it's just so weird. So I had I don't know, a lot of trauma. That's all I can explain. That's all I can say to explain it. There's no other really reason for it, for why, you know, I I feel like that. or why I'm like that. Why can't I remember shit? I block stuff out. I must have blocked out most of my growing up. I just I don't know. But anyways, that's getting me kind of live it down talking about that. I just so wish that I could have a live that people could just talk to me, that I could just talk and respond to people's questions, and then I wouldn't have to try and figure out something to talk about and stumbling over my words. But I'm trying. I'm getting the hang of it. I think I hate myself recorded, but it is what it is. So uh, if anybody wants more, information, it's not really that much that I can say, I guess. But um, just ask me. I really appreciate all the support. I appreciate all the people that say so many nice things. It really makes me feel so good, and it's so wonderful. Like you people really don't even know me, and you're there for me, and that feels so good to me. It's just so wonderful, and I can't thank all of you guys enough for the support that I've gotten so far. It's just great. So, anyways, I'm gonna stop this for now. Um, but I will see you guys again. Okay, bye bye.